Hey guys! In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to properly apply gel polish to your natural nails. Gel polish actually has a bit of an art to it, and people don't realize that there are big differences between nail polish and gel polish. So hopefully I'll be able to help some of you who may be struggling. Everything that I've used in this video and that you'll need will be listed on the screen here, and I'll also list everything down in the description box below. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do is prep your nails. Now normally in my tutorials I don't show you guys that because I do have a separate video specifically on prepping your nails, but for the sake of this video I am going to show you and you will see why. So the first thing that you want to do with prepping is to push your cuticles back. Now that's all I have to do is just push my cuticles back. But if you have a lot of dead cuticle, I highly recommend that you do some cuticle work, just because you don't want your cuticles to interfere with the gel application. Now that I'm done pushing back my cuticles, I'm gonna go ahead and shape the free edge. You can go ahead and shape your nails however you want to. Today, I'm gonna go for an ovally almond kind of shape. Now that my nails are filed into the shape that I want, I'm going to go ahead and roughen up the surface of my nails. Now this is the most important step. If you don't remove the shine from your nails and roughen up the surface, the gel will not stick to your natural nails. It'll end up peeling off and it won't last you. So you have to remove the shine from your nails, get the surface of your nails all roughened up, and that will help the gel to stick and stay. I'm going to be using my e-file and my mandrel bit with a fine grit band on it to prep the surface of my nails, but you can go ahead and use a regular hand file to buff the surface of your nail. Now that my nails are buffed, I'm going to remove the dust, and I'm actually going to do that with a lint free wipe and some acetone today instead of using rubbing alcohol. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to remove not only the dust, but any oils that might possibly be on my nails. Now the next step of prep that you want to do is to apply your prep and primer. This is just to help the gel to stick and stay on longer. So I'm going to go ahead and go on with my prep first, and I'm only going to apply a small amount to my nails. Now I'm going to wait for that to dry and apply my primer. Now that that's dry, I'm going to apply my primer. So now that the prep is done, we can get into the application. So the first thing that you want to do is apply your base coat. Now, I will say this before we get started. Make sure you're doing one hand at a time, and the reason is because gel has something called an inhibition layer, and it's a sticky layer that is uncured. Even if you cure it for the amount of time that it says, there's still an inhibition layer, and if you're doing both of your hands at the same time, you might end up getting hair or lint or whatever stuck on the nails. So make sure you're doing one hand at a time, and make sure that you're not touching your hair or your clothes or anything when you're applying the gel. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply a thin layer of my base coat to my nails. I'm gonna do my thumb separately because I don't want to get anything stuck in it, like in the gel or anything like that. So I'm going to do my thumb separately, but these fingers I normally do together. So the best way to apply the gel is in thin layers, and if you have your hand positioned this way instead of this way, because this way will help you to see better and you can secure your fingers with your other fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab, I want to show you guys just the amount that I'm grabbing. So that's about as much as I'm going to grab. And I'm going to very gently push it up towards my cuticle area. And make sure you don't get any of the gel on your skin or in your cuticle area. If you do, wipe it up right away because you don't want to cure gel that gets on your skin. Again, I'm gonna very lightly push it up towards my cuticle area. And it's not right in my cuticle area. There's a very small gap. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a small gap from where the base is applied and where my cuticle area is. And if you want, you can cap the free edge. Now I'm going to cure this for the time that it needs to be cured for. So for this, in a UV light, it gets cured for 2 minutes, and in an LED light, it gets cured for 30 seconds. So The light that I have is an LED, so I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. Now, while this is curing, I will say this. Sometimes you may experience a heat spike. And basically what that is it's a burning sensation on your nail. That is perfectly normal to happen when it comes to curing gel. The reason that happens is because the gel shrinks while it's cured. So when that shrinking happens, it causes a burning sensation on the nail. So if that happens, just pull your hand out, wait until it cools down, and then stick your hand underneath the lamp again and cure for the time that you spent when you took it out and let it cool down. So now that my base coat is on, it's time to go into the color. The color that I'm using today is Rural Street Pink by Kira Sky. And when it comes to applying the gel color, you want to do very thin coats. The reason for this is because of the fact that if you do, say you do like 2 super thick coats, because those coats are so thick, the gel will not cure. So it's better to do like 4 super thin layers rather than 2 really thick layers that are not cured. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to take a very small amount. That's about as much as I'm grabbing. And then I'm going to very gently push it up toward my cuticle, making sure not to get this on my skin or in my cuticle area. I'm gonna wipe off this little bit of gel that I got on my skin. And you're basically just going to repeat this process of just getting a little bit on your brush, pushing that up towards your cuticle area, and making sure you don't get this on your skin. If you want, you can cap the free edges with the color. I just don't do it simply because I feel like it makes the nails kind of bulky. So I will normally cap the free edges once I've added my top coat. So once your color is on, you want to go ahead and cure it for the designated time that it says on the bottle, depending on whether you have an LED or UV light. So my first layer is on and cured, and now I'm going to go in with another layer, and you just basically repeat that process of applying a thin layer and then curing it, and then basically just applying as many layers as you need to. So for this gel color in particular, I noticed that I had to apply about 5 coats. I know that's a lot, but that is better than applying 2 or like 3 really thick coats. So I'm gonna go ahead and just repeat that process of applying my color. So I have my fourth layer of color on, and I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys a little trick. So as you can see, I have a little bit of streaking here, and I don't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the sticky layer from my nails using a lint free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, and I'm very gently just cleaning that off. And then I'm going to take a nail buff and I'm going to very gently buff the surface of this. And this will help smooth out those ridges. So now that I'm done with that, I'm actually going to go ahead and just file the edge a little bit just to get rid of any little pieces of gel or like fuzz or whatever that might have gotten stuck at the tip. You don't have to do this at this step. You can do this after you've applied your top coat. I'm just doing it now since, you know, I've already did a little bit of buffing. So now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and very carefully remove the dust from my nails. And then I'm gonna apply my very last layer of color. Now that my last layer of color is on, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my top coat. This is a non-wipe top coat, so when this cures, there isn't going to be a sticky inhibition layer, but if you just have a regular gel top coat that is not a non-wipe, after your top coat has cured, you wanna go ahead and remove the sticky layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna apply this the way I've been applying the base coat and the color. Just going to push that up towards my cuticle. And with the top coat, I am going to cap the free edge. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but you see those little like divots or like holes or whatever. For some reason that happens when I apply the top coat. I'm not sure why, but if you just let it settle a little bit and run your brush over it, you can see it smooths right out. So if that happens to you, don't worry, just let it settle a little bit and then just very gently add a little bit of top coat. now that the top coat is on, the very last step is to apply cuticle oil. So that is how you apply gel polish on natural nails. If you guys like this video, consider hitting that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you guys get notified as to new videos that I upload, if it even works. And if it doesn't work, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, where I not only update you guys as new videos that I upload, but that's also where I share my work that you guys normally wouldn't see here in these videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!